Marvel did the meme!
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hello everyone, welcome to the StudioJake vidcast. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. This is my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you'd like to support me in the work that I do, head on over to my new website, studiojakemedia.substack.com, where you can subscribe at different tiers. All right. Sorry, but this is just too juicy. And yes, I know it's a massive troll, no doubt about it, but I just thought it was funny to bring up because, like I said at the outset, Marvel did the meme. It is so funny. So, for those of you who don't know, around the time that it was announced that Sam Wilson would be taking on the mantle of Captain America, and around the same time, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, or as I like to call it, Black Panther, Keep the Water Mexicans Out of Wakanda Forever, was being released or being talked about. There was this meme going around, and there were different variations of it, but this is the most popular. And as you can see, it shows Black Panther, but instead of T'Challa or T'Chaka or even Shuri, it's a blonde, blue haired, white person donning the armor of Black Panther. And this was kind of a meme for people to say, hey, we don't like it when our characters are gender or race swapped. You know, we have seen this with Captain America, with Spider-Man, with Miss Marvel, with even the Punisher at one point, and we're just kind of tired of it. We would like for our characters to keep their superhero identities. Even Batman was affected by this in the Future State DC Comics series. He was race swapped. It was absolutely preposterous for all these storylines to do this. They should just create original black characters like Static Shock, Luke Cage, Rage, and a whole host of others, including Black Panther. So this meme was just kind of going around, and it was a way for people to kind of laugh at the absurdity of race swapped characters. And I think it is hilarious. I think it's funny. This is what the internet is for, to call out the lies and hypocrisy of major news and entertainment companies, because this is what you get and it's the reaction. Boy, don't you know those large corporate billion-dollar companies hate the internet, because now guys and gals like me, we can do stuff like this to expose their hypocrisy. Well, apparently Marvel is desperate for attention and whatnot, because right now they have a few titles that are selling pretty good. Ultimate Spider-Man is doing well. Spider-Man versus the Predator is doing very well. But outside of that, a lot of stuff isn't doing that hot right off the comic book store shelves. So they decided to bring back their Marvel Knights line. Now, what is the Marvel Knights line? Now, you might be familiar with Max and Noor, which Max is set sort of in the Earth 616, which is the main Marvel universe, but the events of the Max series don't affect Earth 616. So it borrows from the history, but it's not necessarily set in it, and it's very much rated R comic. So they've got the Punisher Max. This is how we were introduced to Jessica Jones, and they had a Nick Fury series back when Nick Fury was still white and whatnot, about the characters facing these like very horrific sort of adventures, and the Punisher ones in particular are very violent. They're very well written, but they are incredibly violent. Well, Marvel Knights was kind of a step down from that. It dealt with more mature story arcs, but it wasn't quite rated R. It was probably a solid PG 13-ish, but it dealt with more mature storylines and primarily focused on street level characters like Spider-Man, Daredevil, the Punisher, and now Black Panther. I guess to gin up publicity for this, you're not going to believe this, but Marvel did the meme. In the first issue of Marvel Knights, subtitled The World to Come, which is written by Christopher Priest, who is a very talented writer, by the way. He is an incredible writer. He wrote for Deathstroke, and he wrote a Black Panther comic that was actually pretty good. And it is drawn by Joe Quesada. They did the meme. They did the Black Panther meme. So what happens in this story is you find out that after Black Panther annuls his marriage with Storm, he built this temple to her for some reason. Well, you find out that he's getting back together with one of his old fiancées who happens to be a white woman. They have a son, and the son is named Katima, which it might be Katima, I don't really know, but I'm going to go with Katima. And he challenges, when he's an adult, he challenges T'Challa for the throne. So they get into a scuffle, and I'll post the image here. And as you know, in Wakanda, where Black Panther is from, where he is the king of, you can challenge the king for the throne, and you can go until one of them is killed or one of them yields. Well, so T'Challa is fighting Katima. They're going at it. They're having father-son conversation. T'Challa refuses to kill Katima. So at first he's beating him, but Katima is refusing to yield. It seems like he wants to force T'Challa to kill him. Well, that doesn't go off so well, and so T'Challa tries to have like a moment with him, but Katina catches him off guard, and he knocks out T'Challa. As a result, he becomes the king of Wakanda. He unmasked himself, and behold, he is the blonde, blue-eyed, white character from the meme. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I personally agree with people who are saying this is just a troll. More than likely, we're going to find out he's trans or that he's gay or that he's in whiteface. But I still think it's really funny that Marvel is so desperate for attention. They want to say, oh, you think we're afraid to race swap black characters? Oh, no, 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 fans. Oh, fans, you're wrong. You're wrong. Check this out. Check this out. This is Katima. He is just like the meme that you had floating around with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh, yes. See, check it out. Look how brave and bold we are. And like I said, this is probably just a troll, but I have to say it's a very clever one because they have the internet talking about it. Let me know in the comment section below, do you want yours truly to do a review of this comic? Because I have to admit, my interest has peaked. I haven't been interested in a Marvel comic in a long time, and the last one I was excited for was a huge disappointment, was the Ben Reilly Spider-Man reboot series. But I have to admit, this has my interest peaked. This Marvel Knights tale taking place in Wakanda, where we see T'Challa's white son usurp his throne. Who knows? I don't know where this could go. But I do think it's really funny that Marvel wants so desperately to get readers back to buying their comics that they're going to do this move. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a troll. I think that eventually you're going to find out something about him that's going to rug pull out all of these people talking about it on the internet, especially folks like me. Now, to be clear, like I said, I'm against race swapping, and that goes all ways. I don't think that Iron Fist should be Asian. I think he should be white. I don't think that Swordmaster should be white. I think he should be Asian. I don't think that Black Panther should be brown. I think he should be black. I am consistent on that. I don't think race swapping helps anyone. It goes no way. I think that they should maintain who they were in the creator's mind. I agree with that with T'Challa. I just think that this publicity stunt that Marvel is doing is really funny, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. It's kind of funny because you have the guys like me who prefer the lore to not necessarily stay unchanged, but to maintain its integrity, that it keeps what makes the characters special and great, and that includes their immutable characteristics, and that we should keep that. We're all laughing about this because we think it's so funny. We think it's hilarious that Marvel is doing the meme. But and on the other hand, all of the weird SJWs who don't even buy comic books to begin with, they probably didn't even know who Black Panther was until the first movie came out. All of a sudden, they're crying about this. Why is Black Panther white now? And I think it's hysterical. I think it's funny. Those folks deserve every bit of internet trauma that they are engaging with right now. I think it's so funny. So, anyway, I just wanted to share those thoughts with you because I think that it's going to be funny. Now, like I say, I actually really like Christopher Priest. I think he's a very talented writer. I'm a little surprised they brought Joe Quesada back because he was one of the masterminds when he was editor in chief of Marvel behind Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he did a lot of stuff with animation that wasn't really that popular. Now, that's not true about all his animated stuff, but he is a very talented artist. So I'm a little surprised he came back for this, though. I'm surprised they didn't get one of their other artists or try to pull in someone else. Nonetheless, I think that this will at least look good, and I think Christopher Priest will write a pretty solid story. But I am curious if there's going to be a rug pull out of this, or if it's just going to be a father takes down son story, kind of like how it was in the first Black Panther when T'Challa had to take down Killmonger, his cousin. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, this little publicity stunt where Marvel did the meme is hilarious. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you want to support me in the work that I do, head on over to my new website, studiojakemedia.substack.com, where you can read most of my articles for free, or you can sign up for a subscription that unlocks all kinds of really cool perks. Thank you in advance for doing that. And by the way, if you want to find another way to support me, you can buy my books at that same website on the creatively titled Buy My Books section. You can find links where you can purchase all of my books. Some are on Barnes and Noble. All of them are on Amazon, so you can pick one or all four up. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.